Today we need to talk about something that could legitimately shift the trajectory of the Dallas Cowboys defense. Because for the first time in weeks, there's a sense of real movement, real momentum, and real hope inside that building. And it's not just one thing, it's not just one player. It's an entire wave of reinforcements arriving at the exact moment this team needed it most. We are finally beginning to see pieces coming back, pieces being added, and pieces stepping into leadership roles that this defense has been missing for far too long. And when you hear Brian Schottenheimer describe what's happening behind the scenes, you understand why optimism inside the Star is stronger today than it has been at any point in the first half of this season. Dallas is getting bodies back, and not just depth players, key players, players who matter, players who can transform the spine of a defense. Demarvion Overshown is returning, and you could hear the genuine excitement in Schottenheimer's voice when he talked about him. Overshown isn't just a linebacker coming off injury. He's a tone setter, a sideline-to-sideline athlete whose energy bleeds into everyone around him. And when a coach speaks about a player with that kind of conviction, it tells you everything you need to know. Dallas gets faster, louder, and more unpredictable the moment Overshown steps back on the field. Then there's Viliami Von Fehoko Jr., a player fans haven't seen unleashed yet, but some of the coaching staff has been quietly excited about since the day he arrived. Fehoko adds versatility and physicality on the edge, and getting him back now gives the defense another body capable of rotating, keeping pressure fresh, and allowing the front seven to play with more aggression. These are the kinds of reinforcements you need late in the season when injuries pile up, fatigue sets in, and matchups become more demanding every week. But the biggest defensive return, maybe the most important of them all, is Malik Hooker. Schottenheimer didn't just mention Hooker, he emphasized him. He stressed how critical Hooker is to the structure of this defense. When your head coach refers to a safety as a huge part of what we're trying to do, that's not coach speak. That's a blueprint talking. Hooker brings stability, communication, experience, and range. He's the anchor that lets you disguise coverages, rotate safeties, and trust the back end when offenses try to stretch the field. Dallas has missed that, and having him trending toward playing again is a massive breath of life for a unit that desperately needed it. But it's not only about who's coming back. It's also about who is arriving. And this is where things get loud, because Dallas didn't just add random depth pieces. They added impact, they added attitude, they added leadership. The Cowboys added Quinnen Williams. And when Schottenheimer talks about him, he doesn't start with sacks or size or statistics. He starts with spirit. He talks about Williams as an incredible young man, someone whose energy stands out, someone whose presence is immediately felt. That's what you want from a game-changing defensive tackle. Not just a bully in the trenches, but a cornerstone, a player who elevates the room the moment he walks in. Dallas hasn't had a force like Quinnen Williams in the middle in years, and his arrival instantly changes how offenses will game plan against the Cowboys. Then there's Logan Wilson. And this is where you can feel the coaching staff's confidence growing. Schottenheimer made it crystal clear. Wilson is one of the smartest players on the field. His football IQ jumps out, his leadership jumps out, the way he competes jumps out. And watching him and Damone Clark push each other, elevate each other, set the tone together, that is exactly what this defense has been missing since the departure of Micah Parsons left a leadership vacuum at the second level. Logan Wilson is more than a tackling machine. He is a communicator, a stabilizer, a general in the middle of the field. When you add a player with that kind of presence, everyone around him plays cleaner, faster, more decisive football. What makes all of this even more powerful is the mindset behind it. Schottenheimer talked about the culture of competing every single day, about the expectation that every player, whether returning from injury or arriving via trade, steps into the building ready to fight for a spot, ready to improve, ready to elevate those around him. And he tied that mindset directly to what Marshawn Nellen represented. Compete every day. Be your best every day. Bring energy every day. Live with purpose every day. That mentality is now woven into this moment, into these returning players, into these new additions, and into the urgency this team feels as it enters the toughest stretch of the season. Dallas is not full strength yet, but they are stronger today than they were a week ago. They are smarter, deeper, faster, and more complete. Demarvion Overshown brings back the intensity. Hooker brings back the structure. Hoko brings back the physicality this defense has been begging for. Quinnen Williams brings the interior force this defense has been begging for. And Logan Wilson brings the intelligence and stability that every elite defense needs. These aren't small changes. These are identity-building pieces, and for the first time this season, the Dallas Cowboys defense looks like a unit that can reset its standard, rewrite its narrative, and rise to the level fans expected from day one. Cowboys Nation, now I want to hear from you. Which returning or newly added defender do you think will make the biggest impact first? Do you believe this wave of reinforcements is enough to spark the turnaround Dallas has been searching for? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to the Dallas Report for more coverage all week long. The defense is changing, the energy is shifting, and this season is far from over. Let's talk about it.